Wednesday morning. What is the date? It's 23rd. Can bring up my desktop. Getting close to the end of the month. I guess we are.
We know Angela.
Apologize. I guess we are at the end of the month. Um, about a week or so away from Halloween. I know a lot of people enjoy that day. All right. Lesson 3, Course in Miracles. Who's with me? Anyone? The first 50 or so lessons in the course um, are lessons of negation, meaning that we are, hey, Chad. Chad says, morning, Eric. Morning, Chad. Meaning that we take away all that we think we believe we are, all that we believe we think we are. Um, negating. In the yogic tradition, there is um, the neti meditation. Neti is Sanskrit for not this, not this, not this, not this. Anything we think we are, we dismiss with a not this. I think I'm a body, not this. I think I'm my thoughts, not this. I think I am my job, not this. Neti. Through the process of negation, we get to the essential of what and who we truly are. And what is that? It's not for me to say. It's for me to realize. And I realize by dismissing that which I think I am. Here's the wonderful thing about the process of negation is you negate these things, you come to this sense of absolute emptiness. And then you add all those things back in. I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. However, I am not separate from this either. So negation brings you full circle. That's the meaning of the great Zen, the great Buddhist Heart Sutra. Emptiness is form. Form is emptiness. The operative word is. One doesn't totally negate the other. When we say emptiness is form, it doesn't mean that emptiness becomes form. It doesn't mean that form reverts back to emptiness. It means it is that right now. Emptiness is form right now. The desk, this book, emptiness. However, it is emptiness that lends itself as form. What an absolute act of love. Emptiness giving itself for the capacity to form. Form being love expressed, being emptiness expressed as something. Nothing expressed as something. Just beautiful, beautiful way to see life. What the Course in Miracles does, hey Jace, Jace gives us a poop howdy. Easy, my friend, how are you? Course in Miracles begins with negation. Nothing I see means anything. Lesson 1. Let me get to reiterate lesson 2. Give me a second, guys. I have given everything I see. So lesson 1, nothing I see means anything. Nothing. Because in and of itself, each thing is inherent of our meaning. Lesson 2 tells us I have given everything I see the meaning that it has. So this book, to someone who can't speak English, for someone who's never seen this particular book, for someone who, hey Kayla, who's never even heard of a book before, has absolutely zero meaning. For me, this book has tremendous meaning. I've had this book since I think 1991, 92, something like that. It has traveled with me from household to household, relationship after relationship, drinking years to years of sobriety. It has guided me. So it has tremendous meaning. But in and of itself, zero meaning until I have given it meaning. And that is the way it is with every single thing in the world. Lesson 3, where we are today, says, hey, Nightmare. Lesson 3, I do not understand anything I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place. I do not understand anything I see. That's all we have to work on for today if you were doing the lessons. If you're not, then just humor me. I do not understand anything I see. Why? Because I have given it the meaning that it has. And who's to say that meaning is correct? Where did I get that meaning? Did I inherit it from my parents, from a teacher, from clergy, from the media? I do not understand anything I see. Lesson 3. Let's see. The lingo is here. Hello, my friend. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to you. We got a duo greetings. Nightmare says, hello, Eric, the AOL master. It's easy to be the master when you are the only one left, the only AOL member still standing after all these years. Decades later, standing among the ashes of the once great AOL empire, there's only me. Me against the world, standing tall, standing proud, representing America Online for life. See this? Somewhere here, there's a tattoo. That tattoo actually means American Online for life, represent. It actually doesn't. This tattoo is 30 years old, and it's Sanskrit, and it means to forgive. The message, my directive, to forgive. Hard to understand. It's all I talk about every live stream. Somewhere in my live stream today, I'm going to say forgive, forgiveness, forgive, forgive, forgive. Let's see. I like pancakes. I like pancakes too. Sorry. Money, I'm not even angry over you right now. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I bear no grudge against anyone. It's just that the world feels so wonderful right now. Throughout heaven and earth, I alone am the honored one. Well, then it's nice to meet you. I've been looking for you, expecting you. Jace says, chicken fried rice. It reads there. they had you on the bag. Oh man, I've been misled. Chicken fried rice. That's not a bad message to give the world. Warduke says, got no right to look that good. Well, thank you. Hey, admin, how are you? Just says pancakes. That is the message we should give the world. Pancakes, and pancakes alone. Those who have pancakes are indeed the enlightened ones. Let's see. Admin says, how are you, bro? I'm good, my friend. How are you? Jay says, admin, good morning. So why do I keep talking about forgiveness? And why does it seem so difficult? Because everyone has something, someone, some issue where they refuse to forgive. It's just too personal, hurts too much. Here's what A Course in Miracles, here's what every sacred tradition is telling us. We don't forgive a person. We don't forgive an issue. We don't forgive a thing. We undo the thing. We look past the frailties, how frail and shallow and breakable we seem to be. We look past that. We look past the humanness to the sacred. We see that beneath all the things that are projected outwards from someone who has sought to hurt us, there is a sacred child, innocent, the Christ within each of us, that is simply asking to be seen. Everything else is an illusion. Only love is real. Everything else is unreal. So we look past that which isn't real. We refuse to give it any substance any longer. We refuse to live our life by the 2 times 2 equals 4 mythology. And now we look past and we decide we're going to live a sacred life, moment by moment by moment. And we do that through forgiveness, the undoing of the mundane world, so that the inherent, the truth, the real meaning, the real purpose of everything is to remind us that we are sacred, that we are spiritual beings that are having a momentary human experience. We are not human beings that have an occasional spiritual experience. It's the opposite. We are emptiness expressed as form, the ultimate act of love. Edmund says, welcome to the channel. How's everyone doing? Hey, Rachel. Love, kindness, empathy, and compassion. Beautiful message, and thank you for sharing it. That is the entirety of my channel. We talk about, we joke, we have fun, we talk about chicken fried rice, we talk about pancakes, we talk about fitness, but the message is love, kindness, empathy, and compassion, and our friend Rachel came in and summed it up perfectly. Thank you. Let's see. Hey, Alice. How are you? How you been? Jay says, admin, I'm feeling lazy. I should have done more this morning, maybe a few hundred reps more. However, Jace, you'll be back later in the afternoon, right? You know what? This morning, I heard Jace. Let me see if I can find it, as I still have Jace up. Crazy benefits with minimal work. This morning, I heard Jace say that. And you know what I decided? I'm going to become an evangelical for Jace's message, for Jace's channel. I do not want to be amiss, single day, not mentioning that Jace is on a mission. Jace has your benefit in heart, and he is demonstrating that, and he's doing it in such an easy, gentle way, but it's deceptive. It's work. Jace is working. Minimal work doesn't mean it's not hard work. It means getting the maximum benefit with minimal effort. Man, Jace, he's on a sacred mission. So again, I would be like I would be doing a misservice to the world by not mentioning that. Let's see. Hey, Ann, Scrap Chat. How are you, my friend? And instantly brings a smile to my face. Not just Ann's Crap Chat, not just the title. That makes me laugh, but Ann herself makes me smile. Run Boy says, someone say crabs. We were talking about pancakes. And we were talking about chicken fried rice. Maybe that will be the next poll. Pancakes versus chicken fried rice. I don't think it's even a competition. Easy says, when you say we are emptiness, what exactly do you mean? I mean emptiness. Emptiness can have there's no misconception with emptiness. However, emptiness is not empty. Emptiness is its own thing. Everything stems from emptiness. Let's take string theory, which is a theory. I find it a very viable theory, and I'm not a physicist. I don't even play one on YouTube. I don't even play one in my regular life. But I'd like to think about it. That from this vast, 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 ununderstandable emptiness, there comes a vibration. How does that happen? I don't know. But from that vibration, a particle forms. And then there's this great attraction, this great energy that draws another particle from another vibration, a sacred vibration, an urge. We can say an urge from the absolute. And it's drawn together, which again is the ultimate act of love. Within that emptiness, things are drawn together. Can there be any greater love than gravity? Something is pulled downwards because of the force of love. The heart is gravity. It is pulling everything to it. So I love using Douglas Harding's The Headless Way, self-inquiry, pointing within, pointing in this direction, not looking at my fingers, looking. Have you ever seen your face before? I always lose people. I could start with 20 people in the chat, and as soon as I start doing this experiment, I end up with 2. And even them are like shrugging, scratching their heads saying, what is this guy talking about? But it makes so much sense. Let's see, Rachel says, what days and times are you live? I am live every single freaking day. Never a day off. And I go live at 5 a.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and about 5:20-ish in the evening. Alice says, y'all want some good news? Absolutely. We get a smile from Anne. Says, hi, Yogi in chat. I still say frogs are awesome. I'm in full agreement with you. I'm glad to see that you still have frogs back. Nightmare says, we also talk about crabs. We do also talk about crabs. And crabs are a worthy topic for discussion. Anne says, sure, love good news. I hit 100 subs. That's not just good news. That is awesome news. Absolutely awesome news. Let's see. Ram says, great. Welcome, my friend. Says, congrats. Congrats to our friend Alice. Nightmare says, congrats, Alice. Jay says, I understand this, Eric. When I have more than 2 boiled eggs, something happens. I get the energy. Rachel says, thank you. You're welcome, my friend. Alice says, thank you. Hey, Alice, well deserved. Jace says, Alice, congratulations. Thank you, Jace. Alice, you should do 100 sit-ups. Absolutely. Jace says, and a wave. It's me. Vinay says, hi. It is you. Welcome, my friend. Alice says, no. Sort of an unequivocal no. Nightmare says, we also talk about what app, Eric? What app, yo, Eric? Easy says, but what causes those vibrations? It's me. Vinya says, namaste. Namaste to you, my friend. Love from India. Love from the United States to you, my friend. What causes those vibrations? We can only surmise. But how about emptiness, the absolute, in its desire to know itself, in its desire to know itself as form? That would be the answer from, if you remind me later in the day, we'll break out the Upanishads and we'll go through that. But I like to think, and here's the message from the Course in Miracles. Here's the message from yoga as well. The ultimate cause of everything is love, because only love is real. So what causes those vibrations is simply love to be expressed as easy, to be expressed as Alice, to be expressed as Jace, to be expressed as Anne, to be expressed as Nightmare, Runner Boy, and yes, to even be expressed as me. I know that's hard for some of you to believe. Sacredness. Emptiness is sacred. Emptiness, the absolute, the no-thingness that allows for everything. So back to Douglas Harding, self-inquiry. We look in this direction. You've never seen your face before. You've never seen your head, ever. You've seen reflections. You've seen photographs. Maybe someone did a caricature of you, drew you, painted a portrait. You've heard descriptions. I hear descriptions every day. Someone is always kind enough to come in here and remind me that I'm bald, which is fortunate. Otherwise, I would be combing my forehead. You'd see scars, scratches on my head as I'm combing my bald head. But fortunately, someone comes in every morning and says, hey, you're bald. What a relief. I thought maybe I had a misplaced body part, that maybe my elbow was on my forehead, or maybe one of my butt cheeks was misplaced. Anyway, I forget. Anyway, emptiness. I've never seen my head before. I've never seen my face. When I look in this direction, I see absolute nothingness. Nothing. However, within this great nothingness is the awareness of everything. There's a thought. There's a room occurring within this nothingness. If I go outside, I will see the sunrise coming up in this nothingness, in the great emptiness of God, Him, Her, itself. Everything arises. Capacity. I love the term capacity. Capacity is the allowance for all things to be. You are at once capacity and form. And it all stems from love. Let's see, for me, it's the third egg that caused this crazy flatulence. I'm glad you know your limits. I would not want to be there for the great experiment. How many eggs does it take for Jace to get flatulence? Imagine we're in the same room with Jace, and you would think, 1 egg, all right, that's not bad. Jace can handle 1 egg. And then the great experiment continues, and we're at 2 eggs, and we're thinking, well, that was pushing the limit. I think we're safe. And then Jace goes, well, you know what? Let's see what happens when we get 3 eggs. You don't want to be there. Jace says, and I've got the endorphin rush. Alice says, I'm making bracelets. Nice. So how do we get a handmade Anne bracelet? Or how do we get an Anne made Alice bracelet? Rachel says, I'm so glad I found your channel. Rachel, thank you. And I'm glad that you found the channel too. You are amongst friends. Everyone here is a friend. Everyone. I don't care why you're here. I don't care what you're saying. If you're here, you are a friend. Nightmare says, we need Eric to have 1 million subscribers by the end of the year. If it doesn't happen, I'm having words with YouTube. And you don't want Nightmare. You don't want to get Nightmare upset. YouTube does not want Nightmare to have words with it. I can guarantee you that. I'll be honest with you. By the end of the year, I would be ecstatic with 10K. I was talking to our friend, Toy Pups, and she was talking about, what? State your goal. What do you want? And I look around. I've mentioned this before. Jace, he's a 100K channel. For sure. Toy Pups, 100K channel. Optimob, 100K channel. I'll be happy with 10K. 10K and a modest income. I'm honest when I say that, yes, I want to earn an income on what I do on YouTube. Because, 1, I'm lazy. 59 years old. I don't want to go back working. I was a caregiver for my father, caregiver for my mom. I lost my own home business that I had. I don't want to start over. Not in that way. I just want to sit. I want to talk about the things that I love. I've always had mixed feelings about saying that I'm a teacher. That I'm a yoga teacher, I'm a meditation teacher, that I'm a breathwork teacher. Here's what A Course in Miracles says. We are all teachers because we teach that which we need to learn, that which we most need to learn. So I teach love, I teach forgiveness, because that is what I most need to learn. Hey, Wendy. Wendy says hello just to Yogi. Hello, my friend. Balk says hello, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Hey, Balk, how are you, my friend? Balk gives a wave to Jace. Wendy says hello, the incredible Balk. Jace is waving at Wendy. Sorry, guys, I fell behind. Easy says, something I've been thinking about is that we talk about the ego being a misrepresentation of reality and a force that fights against ourselves and is always wrong. But what is it? What is the ego? This is a great question. The ego isn't something that we need to fight. It's a representation of who we think we are. That's it. A representation of who we think we are. but it's not who we are. It's too small, too fragile to be who we are. It is not bad. It is not evil. It's wrong because it doesn't exist. How can any representation of a thing exist in and of itself? That's like saying that words in a book are the book. If I took a word out, does the book still exist? Of course. If I open any book and I open page 17, and I see there are 5 primal causes of suffering: ignorance of your true self and the value of spirituality, egoism, perfect page. And it's self-centeredness, attachment to pleasure, aversions to pain, clinging to life, and fear of death. I've talked about this before. Those are the 5 afflictions of the mind. Anyway, for the point that we're making here, if I took out one word, does that mean the book itself ceases to exist? No. Who we are is not the ego. The ego is a representation of who we think we are. It is the beliefs that we've inherited. It is the opinions, the thoughts, the collective archetypes that we've inherited. And that's the worst part. Most of the things that we think we are has been inherited from parents and grandparents, aunts and uncles, siblings, teachers, clergy, media, books that we've read. But it's not the thing itself. In neurolinguistic programming, it says the meal is not the menu, or the menu is not the meal. The map is not the territory. Who we think we are is not who we are. We are the territory. We are not the map. We are the meal. We're not the menu. Jay says, easy, I can help here, buddy. Ego is nothing more than a lack of love. When you lose the ego, you find love and treat all equally. And Jace hits it, nails it perfectly. Wish I had said that. As a matter of fact, guys, just pretend I did say that. That was absolutely perfect. Jace, not only was it perfect, it was beautifully expressed. Ego is just who we think we are. It's not who we are. This is why the beginning of the course says, only love is real. Nothing unreal exists. Therein lies the peace of God. So, our mission, our job, our only thing, find out what is real. If it's not love, it's not real. Does that mean we don't experience it? No, we experience the unreal all the time. Money isn't real. There's no actual thing called money. There's no actual, we gave it that name. It's an exchange of energy, an exchange of currency. But in and of itself, if we didn't give it meaning, it would be a piece of paper. If we didn't say gold was something, it would be a shiny rock that looked really pretty. That's what the Course means, that we give everything its meaning. Money, printed, the same way a book is printed, and yet one we pay for, one we try to earn. In and of itself, it's just a thing. So we always look, what's real? What is real? And it comes back to what Jace said. Love. Only love is real. Alice says, react back. Thank you, Alice. Let's see. Wendy says, hello to Nightmare. Nightmare says, hey to Wendy. So all we have to do with the ego, we don't fight it. We don't try to get rid of it. We just don't give it substance. The substance that it doesn't have on its own. It's not our navigational system. When we say that the ego is always wrong, it's because it doesn't truly exist. And that's why forgiveness becomes so easy. Forgiveness is not of the ego. The ego will never forgive, never wants to forgive, because its justification of existence is holding a grudge, of making a judgment that I am other. If there was no other, as Ramana Maharshi said, when he was asked, how do we treat others? And he smiled and said, There are no others. That's being without ego. Being without ego. Again, we don't need to get rid of it. We just negate it. It's not really there. So if it's not really there, why are we living our lives as if those judgments are true? If the ego is that which is holding a judgment, and the ego is just a representation of who we think and believe we are, then how can any of those judgments, any of those grievances, any of those resentments be real? Forgiveness means looking past the unreal to what is real, which is love itself. Always. Everyone is an expression of love, however misguided, because if we believe that we are an ego, so do they. However, we have a secret. We know that we are ultimately love, so we look at others as that same expression. Does that mean we ignore the things that have happened? Sort of. But it also means we have a great sense of discernment. We no longer put ourselves in what could seem to be harm's way. Discernment is simply wisdom. It's our innate intelligence, the intelligence of the universe itself. That is what we trust. That's what we listen to. So sometimes forgiveness means we forgive, we see the inherent sacredness and love of another, but we do it from a distance. Doesn't mean that we have to be best friends with everyone, that we say, I forgive you. You and I are friends again. Sometimes it means we got to keep that distance, keep ourselves safe, keep others safe. But we do so without judgment. We do so without hatred. We do so without putting any of that stuff on them. That's our own projection. So forgiveness is refusing to project any longer and extending love instead. Jace says, that is why love is priceless, but the most valuable. Absolutely, Jace. But isn't the ego necessary to be self-aware? Not if the ego isn't the self. The ego can only be aware of ego. Self is reality. In order to give love, I must be the one doing it. So can ego take us to love? Ego cannot take you to love. Ego can never take you to love. Because the ego doesn't exist. Remember, the ego is a figment of your imagination. It's a collection of information. Love is knowledge. Knowledge takes you to love, the knowledge of who you truly are. Information isn't knowledge. Information is just inform things that you know, things that you say. So yeah, the ego not being the self can never be self-aware. The ego is only about the self. Not good, not bad. Naima says, I believe ego can be a great thing to know how to handle it. For example, having a low sense of worth is definitely worse than having a high sense of worth, in my opinion. It's interesting, Nightmare. But when you let go of the ego, who you think you are, you come to the self-awareness of who you truly are, which is an expression of ultimate love, an expression of God. So the ego limits you. The ego keeps you trapped. It puffs itself up with self-importance. Look at me. Look who I am. Look at all the things that I demand. Appreciate me. All of that. But none of it is real. Because it's saying, I am these limited things. I am my job. I am my accomplishments. I am this. I am that. That's all the ego. None of it is bad. It just isn't who you are. But who you truly are is so much greater. So never accept your littleness. Never accept how all these things keep you small because they're just things. They seem great. They seem great to the ego. But when you leave off the ego just a little bit and you realize that you are this vast awareness of which the ego is just a tiny, tiny speck, you no longer want to relate just to your littleness. You want to relate as the universe itself. There is no point where the universe leaves off and you begin. There is no place where you leave off and the universe begins. It's one great seamless expression of love itself. And the ego is this tiny, tiny, tiny little point of self-belief. So, man, who would want to live that small when you can live as the universe itself? Sniper says, been up a fig tree last 30 minutes. I love fig trees. We have said figs a couple times. That means Odom. Odom, the great fig lover himself, might make an appearance. Hey, Sniper. Rachel says, exactly, 100. Jay says, squirrel, howdy. To you, my friend, Rachel. Wendy says, squirrel sniper. Sniper says, ego, the tendency of a caretaker, prison guard, judge, jury, and executioner. Nice, squirrel. Sniper says, greetings, Wendy. Rachel says, once you reach that stage of life, you're going to see life very differently. Absolutely. And it's only a shift. It's only a shift of perception. All it takes. Look past perception to the cause of perception. Forgive the cause, and you no longer perceive the world in that same way. Remember that we only see our perceptions. We don't see reality in and of itself. We see our perception of reality. When you just begin, and the whole nature of forgiveness is to forgive the perception to come to reality. Optimistic Leslie says, just stopping by to say hi and a quick hello. I appreciate that. Rachel says, the animals know when you do. Leslie says, so hello. Hello to you, my friend. Sniper says, greeting, Leslie. So, speaking of animals, I'm going to go out and take my walk, and hopefully I'll see some animals. I've been seeing some deer right outside of my front door every morning. And I love seeing deer. However, I'm looking for three things, actually. I'm looking for raccoons. They're there. They're just hiding from me right now. Possums, they're there. And beavers. Last year we had a beaver, but there was construction on a dock in the little pond in my neighborhood, and it scared the beaver away. I'm hoping it makes its way back. And foxes. I always love seeing foxes. Whatever nature shows me, I'm happy to see. Let's see. Sniper says, no ghillie suit required for Eric. What is that? Squirrel? Oh, I missed a message from Rachel. She said, I knew it was different, but a good different. Absolutely. What you knew, what you sensed was that you were not an ego. The ego is just a small representation of a thought system, of a belief system. You are not a belief. Ah, sniper outfit. Gotcha. Let's see. Jay says, Yogi Doolittle. And it's a camouflage attire, Eric. Gotcha. That's a funny statement. We could think of the ego as camouflage attire. Not who we really are. Helps us blend in. Helps us fit into society. But it's not who we are. In our secret heart of hearts, we know that we are the universe itself. Pretending, Lila, as they say, Lila in the yogic traditions, the Hindu tradition, Lila is the play of God. Pretending that is it a character named Eric, a character named Jace, a character named Rachel. The divine universe itself, pretending that it's easy. And the question might be, why? I don't know. Why do we make movies? Why do we have a play? Why do we read novels? Because it's entertaining. The divine play, entertaining. It's the same nature of Maya, illusion. We are mirrored in Maya, but it's not who we are. Sniper says, Gully is a Scottish term for a tracker of wild animals. I love that. Rachel says, the way people act today is absolutely horrible. So sad, it breaks my heart. It does break your heart, but you know what? The heart is made to be broken so that your light can shine through. The heart is an energetic structure of who you truly are. When it breaks open, that means you can hold the entire world. When you're holding one person, or when you're holding the ego, when you're cherishing yourself, you're cherishing someone else, and what the Course in Miracles says is a special form of love, you're limiting the heart. When the heart breaks open, now you can love everyone and everything. It doesn't mean that we don't have that intimate love. We still do, but we hold that intimacy within the greater. We're now intimate with everything and everyone. Rachel, it's why we find comfort in love. Absolutely. But here's the thing. Rachel, if you know that you are not your ego, if you know that you are a sacred child of the universe itself, an expression of absolute love, so is all those other people that seem to be doing horrible things. Here's the difference. You are becoming aware of who you are, and they haven't become aware yet. So if we're all dreaming this world from our perception, from our perceptual point of being, how do you wake a child up from a dream? If you see they're having a bad dream of horrible things, of warfare, of starvation, of violence, if you see they're having a dream, and it's just a child, do you grab them and you shake them and you yell, wake up? Don't you see what you're doing? This is horrible. Or do you gently, lovingly guide them to being awake? For us, we can do it with our own actions. We can do it with our own actions. Just by extending love. No one else has to wake up. When we wake up, the entire world wakes up. When we cease to believe our perceptions and we extend love, the entire world begins to change. This is why the Course says, do not seek to change your world. Seek to change how you perceive the world. And then the world begins to change. That's the nature of forgiveness. Do not seek to change the things that someone might have done. Seek to change how you perceive the things. Maybe they were misguided. Maybe they were stuck. Maybe they were what? Who knows? Can't get into the mind of another. However, what we do know is that we are perceiving things in a particular way that is not in our own best interest. The ego can't forgive. However, God, the Holy Spirit, Jesus, Krishna, the universe always forgives, and in fact doesn't recognize sin, doesn't recognize guilt, doesn't recognize judgment or error. It's only perfect love, and in perfect love, nothing else exists. So knowing that the ego can't forgive, we surrender. We don't have to do it. It's beyond us. So we say, I wish for a miracle. I want a miracle. Can I see things? Can I perceive things beyond my perception, even if only briefly? Rachel says, we're definitely here for a reason. I agree. All right, guys. I'm going to take my walk. Jay says I have to go. Out now. Have a great day all. Be blessed. Jace, I hope to see you your second workout. Rachel, thank you, my new friend. Sniper, Easy, and Scrap Chat. Who else did we have here? We had the Incredible Balk. Our good friend Wendy was here. Admin, thank you for showing up, my friend. Alice, congratulations again. Vinay, my friend, thank you for coming all the way from India to hang out. Nightmare, my friend, thanks for hanging out. I watched your video a couple times last night, and it made me laugh each and every time. Ramjay, my friend, namaste. If I have missed anyone, Kayla, welcome. My friend, Chad, my friend, thank you guys. I'm going to see everyone later. Rachel says, God bless. God bless you, my friend. Thank you.